Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Joss and welcome back to my channel squibblesreads. So we are about a week into August, but I figured that in this video I would share with you guys what I am planning on reading in the rest of August. I also plan on participating in the Tome Topple readathon, which has already started a couple of days ago and is going on right now. I will leave the link down below for the readathon's announcement and a little bit of an explanation of the rules and everything, but it started on August the 4th and will be running until August the 7th. So for a total of 2 weeks, and if you're not familiar with the Tome Topple readathon, the goal of Tome Topple is to read large books, so that being books over 500 pages. For me personally, during readathons, a lot of readathons focus on the quantity of books that you can read within a specific amount of time. However, for me, that means that being me, I like to expend minimal effort for maximum reward, so that usually leads to me picking very short books for readathons and kind of ignoring or putting off larger books simply because I won't be able to read as many books in that short amount of time. But the point of Tome Topple is to read larger books, which now gives me more time to get to my books that are over 500 pages. So during the next couple weeks until the 17th, I do plan on finishing one or both of these ones that I have wanted to read for a long time. So again, like I mentioned, the point of Tome Topple is to read books that are more than 500 pages long. I picked one book that is 544 pages long, and the second one of my books is around 570 to 580, so not that much over 500, but just enough to squeak by. So the first of those two books is called Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, and I believe that this is a 3-book series called the Crazy Rich Asians series, and this is a book that I've wanted to get to for a long time. I had a friend recommend it to me, and they told me that this book was most like, if the show existed, The Real Housewives of Singapore, so it is kind of like a light contemporary read. It's about a girl whose name is Rachel Chu, and she is originally from New York, but she is going to Singapore for a summer vacation with her boyfriend Nicholas. But it turns out that Nicholas is actually very well off and lives in this huge mansion palace type of thing, and his family comes from a lot of money. But more importantly, he is Singapore's most eligible and most sought after bachelor. So obviously this comes as a total surprise to Rachel. One of the reasons why my friend recommended it to me is because I enjoy learning about the different nuances in different East Asian and South Asian cultures. So in this book, they apparently do a lot of delineating between some characters who are Singaporean, some characters who are from mainland China, and some characters who are Chinese American, and just the little nuances that make these characters different, but also what brings them together. So I am really excited to get to this one. I think it came out a few years ago and I have wanted to read it since day one, but again, because of the size, I was just a little bit put off by it and intimidated by it, so this is the perfect time to get into this one. So the next book that I would like to read totals at 582 pages, so close to 600, and that book is Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. I still have not read this book. I think I put it into TBR like last year or something, which is really terrible of me. But this book is blurbed as Oliver Twist with a twist, female and sexually aware, a Victorian novel that's absorbing and gothic, all words that I really like. So basically there's this girl and her name is Sue, and I believe that she's an orphan, but there is this woman that has taken her in, but this woman also houses this group of notorious petty criminals that perpetrate petty theft and other crimes like that. One of these thieves people call Gentleman, so gentleman with like a capital G. He decides to take Sue under his wing and proposes to her this deal. So the deal is that Sue would try and become the maid of this woman named Maud, I believe it is, and then them together would try and deceive her and con her into giving up her fortune to them, because they will try and convince people that she has somehow gone mad or something like that, and then they will share her inheritance. Again, I've had a ton of people recommend this one to me, just haven't gotten around to it, so it is finally time to read these books. Okay, so those are the two books that I plan on finishing in the next couple weeks. I don't anticipate them to be very long and dense reads. The first one is more like a light, funny contemporary, and the second one sounds like it'll move really fast and I won't want to stop reading it. So fingers crossed that I will get both of those done, along with a couple of the other books that I'm reading right now that I'm going to tell you guys about, and of course a couple more that I'll pick up just based on my mood later on in the month. But yeah, I'm also in the middle of 2 books right now, and the first one of those books is called Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith. This is a YA contemporary that I picked up really randomly, and I really honestly just picked it up because I liked the colors on the cover. There's like a really nice blue and different teals and stuff like that. So I grabbed it at the library one day. So this is again a YA contemporary about a girl named Alice, and she has been in love with her best friend Teddy for quite some time and just hasn't told him, and the book starts off with her really pining for him. And that is really, really apparent at the beginning of the book. And she buys him a lottery ticket full of numbers that are meaningful to him and meaningful to her in her relationship to him. Teddy ends up winning the lottery, and after that I haven't gotten too much further, but the blurb does say that with the money that he wins, it's obviously affected by events that have happened to him in the past, also events that have happened to Alice in the past. One of the most noteworthy of those events being that his dad has struggled with gambling issues before, and it all spirals into causing them more problems than actually helping them out in the end, even though they have all of this money from winning the lottery. I thought it was really interesting because it deals with gambling, and I don't think that's something that we see in YA contemporary a lot. To be honest, I'm not really sold or very impressed with the writing style of this. It seems very plain, not very detailed, and all of that is really fine. Like, I don't think I mind plain writing, but the issue is that it's just not generating a lot of emotions for me right now. But I think it's a little bit early to make those judgments overall, so I'm gonna give it a little bit more time, and hopefully I like it a little bit more when I keep on reading the book. If you saw my last video, so my August book haul, collective book haul, whatever that was, I did mention that I am about 15% through another book that I hauled from the library, and that book is called Everything Belongs to Us by Eugene Grace Wertz. Again, if you need a refresher from my last video, this book starts off in the year 1978, and it is set in the city of Seoul in South Korea. And when it opens, we are in the middle of a protest, and the people who are participating in this protest are all females, and most of them work in factories. So in these factories there are pretty like deplorable conditions. They are paid minimally, and there's a lot of discrimination, but the government is of course trying to keep them quiet. So during the protest, we meet a boy named Sunam, and Sunam is a university student, and he has a mentor that's about 1 year older than him, and his name is Juno. And Juno is part of this elite social circle, and during this protest, Juno tries to make Sunam do something that kind of proves his loyalty and whatever he's willing to do for this elite social circle so he can be accepted and belong. We also meet 2 women who are arrested during the protest, and then they go to jail. One of them is definitely more well off and of a higher social class than the other one. The other one is a lot less well off and doesn't come from a family who has status during this day. Somehow, and I am not to this part in the book yet, but all of their lives intersect, I think, somewhere at school. And my initial thoughts about this book is totally opposite to Windfall. I adore the writing in this book. So like I said, the book opens in the middle of this protest, and something that it conveyed really well about the protest was that there was so much resentment and so much unfair treatment and the feeling of being silenced and the chaos of everything happening in the protest. I know that some of the police people in this book were using like force on the women, and they just felt so powerless, and the writing really helped to bring out every single detail of that. This is a really thick book, but unfortunately it is only 400 pages, so it didn't quite make the cut for Tome Topple. But again, definitely something that I am enjoying and plan on finishing in the month of August. Okay, so that is all the books that I definitely plan on finishing before the end of August. Like I said, I do have a few more that are on my radar, but I'm kind of wishy-washy about them, but I did want to let you guys know what I'm currently reading and also what I plan on reading for Tome Topple. So those are the 4 books that you will probably be hearing reviews for in the future. If you guys didn't notice, I am back on BookTube. I don't know how the algorithm is working for me right now, but I did post a haul and a wrap up for BookTubeathon, so if you haven't seen those and this is the first video you've seen since I've been back after taking like a 5-month really long break, I will link those videos down in the down bar below and in the end card in a couple seconds here. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, questions, or anything else, please leave them down below. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!